Okay, so a little bit ago, I shared a video sharing some of the weirdest things that we found in the school that we're turning into our house. But now I want to take you around and show you some of the coolest things that we found. So the first thing is actually this old water fountain that was original to the school, and I think it maybe might have been right here because there's this unexplainable hole in the floor, and it would make sense that a water fountain would be in the central part of the school between all four of the classrooms. There was a friend of the previous owner. He actually sold us the water fountain. He bought it because they thought that the school was going to get torn down, and he wanted to save it because he thought it was a cool little thing. But he sold it back to us, and we've been working with our plumber to figure out how we can actually take this old fountain and convert it into something that will work again in the school. It was a ton of work, and my dad and brother and Sean, we were all using a lot of different chemicals and just force in general and vice grips to get the water fountain apart because it's kind of rusty and super beat up. So we finally got the rusty beast apart so that we can clean it up and repair it and replumb it. But if anyone's got any porcelain kits that they really like, definitely let me know in the comments. But eventually we want to figure out how to have the fountain back in the school and working again. So another one of the coolest things in the school that we found are actually the original floors and some of the original plaster. So when we ripped off a lot of the drywall and paneling that the previous owner had put up, we uncovered these walls. And we think that they're the original colors because they go all the way up. They've been tucked away for many, many years. And what we're gonna try to do is repaint the plaster portions that you can see that were original pieces of the school, paint them back to be the same colors that they were in the classrooms. So a lot of this hallway will be white, but we're working with this company Up Paint who makes recycled paint, and we are going to have this little section of plaster be the blue and yellow that it was originally. The other really cool thing are these floors, and I'm so thankful that we were able to save at least some of the floors because with all the water damage, with the fact that this school was a barn in a previous life, the wood floors have seen a lot, and most of them we were not able to save. And trust me, we tried. They were just rotten and crumbling, and we couldn't have done it. But now we have these original floors, and I'm wearing socks for the first time in the schoolhouse because Dave and Micah and Kristen from Guardian Flooring, they've refinished this area of the floors. So this will end up being the kids' hallway, and the kids' bedrooms are behind me, but they're going to have the original floors. And I just gotta share some of these floors because just the character and being able to see some of these nail holes and all of this just interesting stuff. You can see the patching over here that we had to do because actually these were, over here was some stairs before. And you know, it's really, really cool to see this wood. It's not perfect, but that's like part of its charm. See this wood restored and back to being used for, you know, maybe another 100 years. So just really, really thankful that we were able to save the stuff in here. Also, you gotta check out, it's dark, but you can see some of the tile that Greg, our tile guy, has finished in here. Yeah, here's some of the, you can see some of the nails here and some of the old stains, and it's just character and texture, and they're going to be really beautiful floors. So another really cool thing that we found after we bought this school is actually this room. This room has come such a long way. Brad has, Brantley, everybody has been working on this room. It originally was an old engine room, and you can see through here parts of that original engine. Very rusty. Going to figure out how to preserve that. But there we go. See another area here. But what we're going to do in this area is going to become a little cocktail cellar. When I was in New York, I did a ton of stuff with cocktails. My day job was with dogs, but by night I had a cocktail Instagram and did a ton of stuff with partnerships and just made lots and lots of cocktails for all of the people that we would have over every weekend. But this little area will be where we store all of the liqueurs and bitters and weird things that we've made and collected over the years. But originally it was an engine and just a weird little room. I definitely, when we first saw it, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much work to get it to not be disgusting and creepy, but kind of works out like that, where the stuff that you're kind of scared of and freaked out by when you first see it ends up becoming one of your favorite spots in the whole room. And for me, that's a lot because Brad has been doing some really great stuff cleaning up this brick. We poured new concrete and have just been cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. So another thing that we discovered in the school is actually, we call it the secret room, but it's actually just part of what was this classroom over here. So when we bought the school, you would come in this door and there were some bedrooms and a bathroom around the corner, and there were these partition walls here. So we didn't really have a good sense of the layout, but once we came around here and looked through kind of a hole and crawled up through here where there was a hole, we found this whole other room that was back here. So, you know, it wasn't really a secret room, but it was secret to us because we discovered it after we purchased the school, and it was just one of the more special things that we found, because now it will be, the secret room will end up being our kitchen eventually. And this brick on the back wall was in such bad shape that we're like, hey, if we're gonna repoint all of this and do all of these repairs, let's do things how we want to do them. And so we ended up putting a sliding patio door off of here. And eventually this patio door will be the entrance to our garage roof deck. And we'll be able to have parties and dinners and tons of stuff up here in this area that will eventually be the garage roof deck. So another thing that we discovered in the school are actually these brick walls. So it has been a saga to reach this point of refinishing the brick, but I am so excited that we have them revealed. So originally these were all plaster. A lot of the plaster was damaged. We were going to have to do a bunch of repairs, and we prefer the look of brick. I love all of the different textures and all of the color variation that comes with brick. And so our mason Brad, he was cleaning up one spot and he asked, he's like, how far you want me to go? And we were in one of the rooms and I was like, how about all the way? And so he took off all of the plaster off of the brick, so messy. And then we were left with this haze. And so then Brad took his angle grinder and he cleaned off all of the brick again. And then Sean and I, first we did this consolidant that helps make the brick not dusty. Because one thing about exposed brick walls is, you know, when you'll touch it, it would just like dust would just poof off of this wall. And so what we did was first layer, we put on a masonry safe consolidant. It still allows the brick to breathe and it won't harm it long term, because if you seal brick, you can seal water in it and then you have a lot of problems, you know, many years down the line. And then we also did this thing called Aquamix Stone Enhancer, and we put that on as well. And so there are a lot of other products out there for brick that make it really shiny, but we wanted to have this like matte sheen where it just looks like the brick was laid and it shows off the brick's nuanced natural colors. So took us a while to get here, but really happy that we are now, and it took a lot of. I'm just gonna take you in some of the other rooms that have brick. Here will be our entrance and pantry. So you can see a lot of brick. Actually, we'll come back through in here. And here is the kitchen. Lots of brick walls over here. We didn't finish these because they will be where our cabinets are, and we just didn't want to have Brad do a bunch of work that we're just going to cover up. And then we go through here, and here we've got the original plaster that our tile guy Greg did a bunch of repairs on. This will end up being our office, and I can show you. These were some of the colors that we were choosing from. All of the colors, I have a whole different video about choosing the colors, but basically we pulled from either the original paint on the plaster. You can see a little bit down there. Got a bunch of samples up as well. And then for the brick, we pulled a lot of the colors out of the brick. And one thing I really love about this brick are all the purple tones in it. So we're actually going to go with this deep purple in here. This will be the only room that's darker. None of the rooms are dark because got a lot of windows, but we thought it would be really cool to just have this like cozy brick cave feeling zone for the office. And then the last brick wall is through here, and this is our bedroom. So, yeah. The other thing is, like I mentioned before, in the kids' hallway, we're going to have these like peeps of the original plaster with the original colors. So we're gonna paint that pink stripe up there, and then also have this light green. This is the color we're gonna choose. It'd be this little spot right here. So just like little hidden spots of the original classroom colors. So one of the most rewarding things we've discovered actually wasn't in the school, but it was about the school. So we knew a little bit about the school's history from the previous owner and from the Johnson County Museum of History. But a few months ago, we went back to the museum and found a treasure trove of documents and tons of pictures. The museum will even scan original photos that they have in their archives at super high resolution for you, and I plan to print a ton of these pictures. I just love looking through all of the photos of the students and then the teachers and seeing glimpses of the building behind the kids. Their clothes, their expressions. It just makes it so much easier to imagine what this building was like when it was a school. When we were also at the museum, one of the volunteers told me that I should look for articles on the school on newspapers.com. And it was there that I found hundreds of articles about the school because they digitize tons of newspapers. It's kind of like a microfiche that you can actually search. There were stories about spelling bees, 4-H meetings, reunions, and there was an incredible article talking about the farmer who kept cows and other livestock in here. There was even a super strange article about a former teacher who disappeared, was presumed dead, and then showed up again at her parents' house alive. I have really got to dig more into this story. I think my favorite clipping, though, it's this one that just says basketball, and it's Hopewell versus Union Joint. Hopewell was actually the old elementary school that Sean and I both went to that closed down when we were going there. And just the announcement of basketball, ! Is the most Indiana thing ever. And I'm very excited to blow this up and display it somewhere in the school. So the last thing that we've discovered since purchasing this school is actually all of the people following this story as we've been telling it. I think like part of it is, you know, something about renovation stories. There's such a clear before, middle, and you just want to like watch along and see the journey. It's also been such a fun thing to find other people in varying stages of their own restoration journeys. This isn't an easy thing to do. So there are a lot of things that I'm really thankful for on so many levels. Thankful for parents who let us live with them. Thankful for parents who help us meet contractors, give advice. It is such a journey, and hope that it will be, you know, a longer one where we actually get to live in this place someday once we get floors and get the trim off the ground. So just want to say thank you for everything during this phase of our lives when things are so chaotic and really need the flexibility of a strange internet job. It's just been definitely one of the highlights of purchasing this school, and hopefully more to come. Next up, I'm working on a video showing all the steps and materials that we use to seal up the interior exposed brick walls. And then we've chosen our paint colors. I'm so excited to put that video together and start some of the priming and painting inside. More to come in this long and winding saga of turning an old school into our house. And thank you so much, as always, for following along.